Hello guys, it is me again, it's HorrorFan34, and I have been tagged once again. Having a lot of fun doing these tags. This time I was tagged by LastVenom76. Well, of course, the original creator of this was Horror Metal, and shout out to him. Shout out to LastVenom76 too, he's a recent subscriber of mine. Tagged me in this. And it was a horror and metal tag that was created by Horror Metal. And it's 8 questions, 4 questions are horror related and 4 questions that are metal related. But he said, of course, if you're not a metalhead like him, you know, you can do things that are like metal music things. Like you can mention like classic rock things and things like that. So enough with me getting on, enough with me talking about. And before that, actually, I want to tag a few people in this video. I tag Horrific Nightmares JM, Lisa Loves, who else did I tag? Horror Metal Pack I tag, and TheHorrorMan. I tagged those 4. Oh, and BroncoJuggalo Talks Movies. That's 5 people I'm going to be tagging. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get on to the questions. Question number 1: how and when do you watch horror movies? Basically, what I do is I watch them when I have some free time to myself here in my room. When it's like a rainy day out or something like that, when it's not that great outside, I usually sit inside and watch a horror movie. And I collect them. I collect them on DVD or Blu-ray or something like that. Or sometimes I just watch them on cable. I just watch them on TV like that. And mainly I collect them because I'm a big horror collector and all that stuff. But love horror films. I love watching them during the evening, and sometimes like during the day when I'm alone by myself. I do some stuff like that as well. And I just watch them whenever I have free time to myself. So that's the first question. Question number 2: what are 2 metal albums that you just kept replaying again and again? Like I said, I'm not a metal guy, so these would be classic rock-based questions. But the 2 albums that I remember that I actually listen to the most are Queen's Greatest Hits, because Queen's my favorite band of all time. And Bon Jovi's Slippery When Wet, you know, that's what Living on a Prayer, Wanted Dead or Alive, and so many more. I mean, 2 great albums right there. I just wore those out completely. And I've been listening to the Queen's Greatest Hits album for a while now because I'm getting prepared for the Queen movie that's coming out in November. So I'm really excited for that. Question number 3: who would win in a fight between the big 4? Leatherface, Jason, Freddy, and Michael Myers? I think easily Jason, because Jason's one of those, is a guy who's basically a zombie. He can't be killed. If I had to think it would come down between two of the people, it's probably going to be Leatherface against Jason. But still at the same time, I mean, like, Leatherface has the chainsaw and all that, but, you know, Jason's a zombie. You can't kill him, you know. I just think he's powerful and all that stuff. I easily think Jason would win. I can go on and on about that, but I say Jason would probably win in the fight there. Question number 4: who are your 4 favorite metal vocalist guys? Now, like I said before, if you're not a metal fan, then you can do classic rock ones or any other ones. So I'll be doing my 4 classic ones. And, you know, my number 1 favorite classic rock vocalist has to be Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury, just his voice, just such a powerful voice. So many great hits that he had. You know, just great singer, Freddie Mercury. My number 2 choice would be Brad Delp of Boston, the late great Brad Delp, and also rest in peace to Freddie Mercury, and also rest in peace to Brad Delp of Boston, who unfortunately took his life, which is too bad. It's pretty sad, and but he had a very strong voice. When you listen to his voice on More Than a Feeling, you know, his vocal cords are just out of this world. I mean, long solos on just such a great voice, and he's greatly missed. Whenever you heard about Brad Delp, they said he was like the nicest guy in the world. So I think that's always cool when you hear that. My third one would probably have to go to Kevin Dubrow of Quiet Riot. Also, he's no longer with us either, which is a shame. And I think him and Brad Delp died the same year, 2007, which is too bad. But Kevin Dubrow of Quiet Riot, I don't know if you really consider Quiet Riot metal or just hard rock, but Kevin Dubrow, I love his vocals, especially on Come On Feel the Noise and Bang Your Head. You know, I love his energy and all that stuff. I mean, I love like the way he performed. Like if you watch his music videos, just prancing up and down the stage and has a lot of energy to him. My fourth one had to be John Bon Jovi. Enough said there. I have just great voice. And my other one, I actually picked another one, and that's Steven Tyler of Aerosmith. Yeah, but, you know, Steven Tyler, do I need to say more about him? I don't think I need to. Question number 5, why do you love horror so much, and why do you love horror so much, and what does it do? What does the genre do for you? I love horror films just because I just love, you know, scary stuff. I mean, I don't really know how much more to describe it. I mean, horror was just one of those things I got into right away because I love watching horror trailers back when I was a kid. I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of horror films back then because a lot of them were R-rated. But I just love watching horror trailers. Like, I've seen horror trailers for, like, The Mangler, you know, Freddy vs. Jason, and I've seen a lot of the horror trailers when I was a kid. And what the horror genre does for me is, you know, it gives me, you know, a good scare sometimes. Like, sometimes it gives me a good scare, whether it be like The Exorcist or some creepy films like that. Or it can give me like a fun time for slasher films, like whether it be like the Jason movies or the Freddy movies or the Texas Chainsaw movies, like the sequels and all that stuff. I mean, that's what it does. That's what the horror genre does for me personally. I really like the horror genre. Question number 6, what were some of the first bands that you got into, like your first introduction to bands and all that stuff? Now, this is another metal-related question, but if you're not a metalhead, you can do classic rock. I say the first 2 bands that I really got introduced to was, first off, I got introduced to Queen. Queen was one of those bands that after I listened to them so many times when I was a kid, they became like my favorite band of all time, and they still are to this day. And another one that I was introduced to was Kiss, because I remember the hard rock. There's a hard rock. I used to go to a hard rock cafe a lot back when I was a little kid, and they had all these like pictures up, and they were all lined up, and it was all the members of the original lineup of Kiss. You know, Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Peter Criss, Ace Frehley. It was the original 4 lineups, and that's how I first got introduced to Kiss, and they were playing some Kiss music all over the loudspeaker inside the Hard Rock Cafe when I was eating. And that's how I got introduced to Kiss. And, of course, being a big fan of Detroit Rock City, you know, the movie, I love Kiss. But then after that, I started listening to, like, Aerosmith, AC/DC, Pink Floyd, John Bon Jovi, Asia, Billy Joel, the Beatles, Cheap Trick, Def Leppard. I mean, I can go on and on forever. Leonard Skinner. I mean, I can go on for a lot of hours talking about that. Question number 7, what is your favorite kind of genre of horror? That would easily be slasher films. I really enjoy slasher films because I'm a big Jason Voorhees fan. And those are like the first slasher films that I got into. Really enjoyed the Freddy films, the Chainsaw Massacre films, the Halloween films, and even some of the standalone slashers like The Burning, many, many more. You know, My Bloody Valentine, the original. That's easily my favorite subgenre of horror is slashers. And the last question is, if you can bring back one metal vocalist from the dead, who would it be? Now, like I said before, I'm not a metalhead, so I'm going to say, if I had to bring one classic rock singer back from the dead again, and it would have to be Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury was just one of those guys who had a great voice. And on top of that, too, I also wish he was still alive today because he died so young. I believe he was 45, and I think he died of AIDS, which is too bad. It's really, really sad. A very talented guy. Had a lot of great hits, Bohemian Rhapsody, Killer Queen, You're My Best Friend, Don't Stop Me Now. Of course, We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions, which is actually what we played when the Eagles won the Super Bowl this year. We Are the Champions, and Philadelphia Freedom by Elton John. But that's a different story. But Freddie Mercury, and also on top of that too, I also wish he was still alive today, so that way he can go see the Queen movie for himself. Because I know two of the producers on the film are the two members of Queen that are still around or in the band, Roger Taylor and Brian May. Because I know John Deacon has retired, and Freddie Mercury's no longer with us anymore. So I kind of wish he was still alive today, so that way he can go see the movie for himself. Because I'm really thinking he's going to be really. If he was still alive, I'm sure he would be really proud of it, because the movie looks really good from the trailer, and the new trailer is coming out for that tomorrow, which I'm really excited for. So those are my those are my answers to the questions, and thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys next time. All right, guys, take care.